Okay, so I'm about to get started on Christmas desserts. This is the book I'm going to use for 2 of the recipes. I have other handwritten out recipes, as you can tell. But I'm going to do chocolate chip cookies. I'll show you how I'm doing it, because I am using a different recipe than the last time I filmed chocolate chip cookies. And I'm going to do regular snickerdoodles. I could put the sprinkles in, but I'm not going to. So, like, they're not a necessary thing. And then I'm doing Nutcracker sweets. This is a family favorite, but it's not my recipe, so I will link it down below. I just wrote it out. I'm not one of those people who prints out recipes. I like to write them out. That way I can make notes and change stuff if I need to. I'm doing like Christmas Chix Mix. I'm going to do haystacks. And I'm doing peanut butter cookies, the way my grandpa likes them. And whoa. He wants to play, and I'm the only one who's playing with him apparently. Where's your baby? There it is. He plays with an old hoodie string. Hey. Yes. Yes. Want this? Okay, so I'm just going to do this video voiceover style and kind of show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. All the recipes and the directions will be down below in the description box. It's just going to be easier to do that than it will be to explain everything and give all the ingredients and all the measurements in the video as I go through, because this video is long anyway, and when I started, before I even started editing this video, it was almost 2 hours of footage, and I'm just if I want to explain everything, I'll have to make it 2 hours again. So I started with Nutcracker sweets, and is there really a method to my madness? No. The method to my madness this particular day was get done what has to get done. And you will see an outfit change, and it's not because it's a different day. The outfit change is because I got flour and stuff all over my red shirt, and we ended up having to go somewhere. So I had to put on a black shirt. So that would, you'll see that later on in the video. I get that all the time. Do you film? No, this was all done in one day. I started with Nutcracker sweets. I did this because it does bake in one giant sheet. It takes longer to cool off, and it needs to be completely cool before you frost it. And also, this is not going to be in the order of the dessert. This is going to be in the order of how I did everything. So like here I'm doing the crust for the or like the cookie layer for the Nutcracker sweets, and then when I get that in the pan, I get that in the oven, I will start with peanut butter cookies. So this is a thicker dough, but it's because it goes in a sheet pan. I spread it out as good as I could, and then I put it in the oven. And while that was in the oven baking, I started on peanut butter cookies. And I did a separate video on how I make peanut butter cookies, as well as 2 variations on the recipe in a previous video that went up last week, I believe. So if you just want a video showing you how to make peanut butter cookies, then go watch that video. And you will see me go back and forth a lot to get ingredients out of the pantry and to get more out of this and that, and that's just how I cook. I would love to be that person who gets everything out in places where I need it to be, and sometimes I do that, but most of the time I'm wandering all over the place. Okay, so at this point, I am going to scoop out. This is a cookie scoop, and I love this because it's silicone. So all I have to do is scoop it out and press the bottom, and the ball of dough comes out. I don't have to get an extra spoon and roll it out and all that. And you will see me use this thing throughout this video, but it works really well with peanut butter cookie dough because of the texture. And I will also, you do not have to chill this peanut butter cookie dough, which I absolutely love because every other cookie dough recipe I do in this video has to be chilled, and this one doesn't. And it saves time. So I can get these going in the oven as soon as I get the Nutcracker sweets out of the oven. The cookie base for the Nutcracker sweets looks like when it comes out. I'm trying to show you that you want like a golden brown crust almost on the sides, and then this is what the peanut butter cookies look like when they're fully baked. Because of the sun coming in through that door, they don't look baked at all, but they are. Okay, so while I was waiting for all that to cool off, I started on snickerdoodles. I don't know what happened to the lighting in this video. It was still daylight, but it may have been stormy. I don't remember. I filmed this last year. So, yeah. But, like I said, this came from a book, and I will link that book down below. I'm not going to type it out because it's not my recipe. And honestly, if I could find it on a website somewhere, I might just share that link. That might just be easier. So, I'll do that. And if I forget a recipe and you want the recipe, totally let me know, and I will put it in the description box, or I will put it in the comments, because sometimes I'm really bad at forgetting stuff like that. And I will say, with the snickerdoodle cookie recipe, it's a little time consuming because you do have to mix the dry ingredients separate. And I'm not usually the person who does that, but I'd never made this recipe before, and I couldn't find my grandma's recipe for snickerdoodle cookies, so I did want to do this the way it's said to. Okay, so now I'm starting on the peanut butter frosting for the Nutcracker sweets. The snickerdoodle cookie dough had to chill for, I think, an hour. So while that's in the refrigerator chilling, I washed my bowl and everything, and I started on the frosting for the Nutcracker sweets. And like I said, everything will be down below in the description box. But I will say, this is a family favorite, and if we don't have these, everybody asks where they're at. And if you make these and take them to an event, I am telling you this right now, you will be making these for the rest of your life. Because everybody loves these that much, and I do not know why. Because they are good, but I'm not addicted to them the way everybody else is. Okay, so to finish up the Nutcracker sweets, you just spread the frosting on the cookie base, and then you will drizzle that with melted chocolate. I always melt about half a cup of chocolate chips, sometimes a little bit more. Do I measure? Nah. And I always melt it with a little bit of coconut oil. That way it will drizzle a little bit better, even though you will see the drizzle is not perfect. And it doesn't have to be, because these chill in the refrigerator for a few hours, and then you can cut them. If you do not chill these in the refrigerator after you've drizzled them with chocolate, you cannot cut them, or they will be a giant mess. Like, they make a mess when you cut them anyway, but the mess is even worse if you do not wait and you do not chill them. So at this point, I am finishing the snickerdoodles. I'm mixing up the sugar, the cinnamon sugar mixture that goes on, and then I think you get to see in this clip me rolling them into balls and coating them in the cinnamon sugar, and then they get put in the oven. I'm not sure. I don't remember. It's been a day, and it took a while to edit this video, so yeah. But once you do that, you just bake them, and these get flat. I can't believe how flat they got, but they were still soft, and they were still really good. Okay, so now I'm going to start on chocolate chip cookies while the snickerdoodle cookies are in the oven. Like I said, this is how I do things. And I could have sworn I had a clip of the snickerdoodle cookies before they went in the oven, but I cannot find that clip. So maybe I didn't get one, or maybe I lost it. Sometimes that happens. I don't measure salt. Like how you see me sprinkling salt in that, I don't measure salt. I don't measure vanilla either. Anybody else do that? Is there just certain ingredients you don't measure? Okay, so that's what the chocolate chip cookie dough looks like when it's done. This went in the refrigerator to chill for an hour, and this is what the snickerdoodle cookies look like when they came out. Like I said, they got really flat, but they were still good. So, while I was baking the rest of the snickerdoodle cookies, I only baked 5 because I didn't know how big they would get. While I was baking the rest of them, I was waiting for that cookie dough to chill, and I did the dishes, and I got prepared for the next 2 recipes, because I think there are 2 recipes left after this. But the chocolate chip cookie dough didn't work as well in this little cookie scoop as I thought it would, but it still worked. Okay, so this is what the chocolate chip cookies look like when they come out of the oven and they've cooled a little bit. I just transferred them to a cooling rack. It just makes it easier. And it says to do that. I don't always do that. Usually I try to. The next recipe is Christmas Chicks Mix. I don't know why my grandma had this in her head that we had to make this. But my grandma bought the stuff and said, here, you want to do it? And I told her I would. But it's corn chicks, pretzel sticks, the holiday M&Ms, and white chocolate chips. And I did not measure anything. I eyeballed how many pretzels, how many corn chicks. I melted a whole bag of white chocolate chips. And we ended up with a ton of this stuff. So if I make it again this year, I will definitely be measuring and probably not using a whole bag of white chocolate chips. Because while it is delicious, it makes a ton, and we were not able to eat it all. And I do not like throwing away food. And we threw a lot of this away. I just melted my chocolate chips over a double boiler. I did not add any coconut oil to them at all. Usually I do that, but for this recipe I did not. I just melted them over a double boiler, or a makeshift double boiler. I just mixed in the chocolate to the pretzels and the corn chips, and I am going to say there's probably a better way to do this. I do not know that better way. I ended up going in with my hands, as you will see, and when you see that, yes, I washed my hands before I did it. I'm not wearing gloves. I just washed my hands. It's not worth the waste of money to buy the gloves when you could just wash your hands, which you should be doing anyway. Okay, so after I mixed it all together, I transferred it to a cookie sheet, spread it all out, and I will say I ended up doing this, and after I did this and mixing in the M&Ms, I ended up transferring it to 2 baking sheets, so it was a little bit thinner of a layer, and it would actually, what's that word? Set up a little bit quicker. But I did this, then I dumped the M&Ms on top of it, then I kind of mixed them in. It made more sense in my head to do it that way. Okay, so the final recipe is haystacks. I've seen a few different ways to do these. The way we always did them was chow mein noodles and peanuts with butterscotch chips and peanut butter. So what I did was create another double boiler with a bowl and that pan, and I melted peanut butter and butterscotch chips. I used the whole bag, and I don't remember how much peanut butter was left in that jar. I think about probably a quarter of a cup. I think I ended up having to get out another jar. I don't remember. But it don't matter. Like I said, I will try my best to leave directions and all that stuff down in the description box. But I just melted that all together. While that was melting together, I mixed together the chow mein noodles and the peanuts. And then after that was all melted, and these had melted a little bit from just setting on the stove. I didn't think about it, but because the stove had been on pretty much all day, it was quite hot in this area. Okay, so after everything was melted and mixed together, I just tossed together the butterscotch peanut butter mixture with the chow mein noodles and the peanuts. And after that was all mixed together and everything was coated, I just took spoonfuls and laid it out on wax paper. Yeah, that's what that's called. So, yep, that's what I did. And I do try to get every last bit of this stuff out. And honestly, I don't think you need the whole bag of the butterscotch chips. It says you do. I don't think you do. Because it seemed like it was a lot more than I actually needed. But now you just take spoonfuls, like I said, and kind of build them up to look like a haystack. No, they do not have to be a certain shape. No, they do not have to be a certain size. We try to make smaller things, like smaller portions. Yeah, that's the word. Smaller portions for Christmas desserts, because there's always so many. And then we always have pies and cakes and all that stuff on top of all this. And even though people do take stuff home, we still try to do smaller portions. That way you can have a piece of everything instead of just having like one of these and being done and not wanting anything else. So, yeah. And these just set out until they are set up, or you can put them in the refrigerator or the freezer. We do not have room in our refrigerator or freezer. at this point, as you can probably tell. So that's going to be it for this Christmas dessert video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you've not done so already, hit the red subscribe button down below. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for my next video.